Hi everyone, and welcome to a Bitcoin Cash price prediction for 2022 that is updated based on the fact that we've removed one thing from the charts that we previously had in all of the other prediction videos. The thing I changed about my charts is in relation to emotions and emotional behavior that humans display over the course of a day. Everything I've said in my other prediction videos still applies, but I want to explain my reasoning for why this one is different. On this channel, I use the Fibonacci retracement tool. You can find this on the left here. You can click that fork button on the right, go down to Fib retracement and click star if you want that to actually appear on your toolbar at the top here. When I select my Fibonacci tool, I take the longest Fibonacci retracement tool that I can. And how we do this is we actually take it from the peak of the last cycle, which happened for Bitcoin Cash on the 19th or 20th, 2017 of December, sorry. You drag it from the top there and drag it all the way down to the bottom of the bear market. You can see that line at the bottom goes all the way down to the bottom of the bear market. This, as it has done for the likes of Bitcoin, for example, you can accurately predict the top of the next cycle by dragging it from the top to the bottom. As you can see, Bitcoin has already hit the top here. Ethereum has already hit the top of the fibs as well. And so this can be used as a tool to see where the ultimate price target would be for the end of a given cycle. We're still in the cycle we've been in for the last kind of 4 years. It's just it's taken a little bit longer to get this final push up in that second alt season of this cycle, pushing us up to the upper end of the Fibonacci's. And I use the Fibonacci's because they trace the human behavioral decisions that are made over the course of, well, in this case, about 4 years. I know it's very basic to look at, but I'm pretty sure you've probably not looked at a chart in this way if you're new to this channel. But each one of these candles and wicks represents the emotions and the behaviors of people during that day. So rather than looking at these charts as a price movement chart, let's look at it as a human behavior chart. So on these days, humans were very greedy and very bullish. On these days, there was lots of fear and bearishness. And obviously that has an effect on the price because people sell and people buy, but decisions are made based on this emotion. How are those emotions coming about in a body? Well, it's biological, right? There's chemistry going on. And the fun fact of the day, these Fibonacci lines that are drawn here aren't a mistake. They are found by scientists in the Fibonacci sequence, and these are people who decoded how decision-making happens in biology. So how a plant decides where to put its leaves, or how a snail shell decides to go in that swirl, in that perfect kind of pattern. That's the Fibonacci sequence playing out in nature, and I do believe that the emotional behavior of people in greed or in fear actually allows us to chart using the Fibonacci sequence also. And so on this channel, we are actually relatively conservative in outlook. Some of the coins obviously have high price targets, like Bitcoin Cash has a very high price target and a lot of X's left in the market. But how can we hone in on the one thing that is the most unreliable part of these charts? Well, I want to zoom in even further here. Most likely, many of you will actually be seeing a chart like this when you zoom in. Candles and wicks. And these wicks, to me, represent movement of that day that was unreliable, very difficult to predict, and ultimately was the most emotional behavior on that given day. On this day, you can see on the 4th of December 2021, there was a lot of emotion in the market. We had a big red day, but it was way worse at one point. There was lots of swinging of emotions. And so the best way to kind of remove these figures from the charting experience is to right-click, click settings, and uncheck wicks. Now what you end up with is a price chart without wicks. Or as I like to see it, a price chart without their added emotional behavior reflected. What this does to our price predictions is actually makes our price predictions a little bit more conservative. So if you're here and you've seen one of my previous videos where 50x left to the upper end of the Fibonacci's, this one might be a more realistic outcome, albeit I know that Bitcoin Cash does have a long way to go to get to the top of these Fibonacci extension levels. But now what we have to do is, because this wick at the bottom here doesn't exist, we actually have to move the Fibonacci extensions so that we can be accurate with the fibs. So we've just moved this bottom one up slightly. This top one, we'll move it down to the line to be more accurate this time. And what we have as a result is the full accurately placed Fibonacci on this chart over the longest period of time that we can for Bitcoin Cash. When I'm looking at a coin to actively look to invest in, it has to meet 3 of my rules. If it doesn't meet one of them, I don't buy the coin. The first rule that I have is that it has to have shown or participated in the alt season of the 2017 bull run. And it has to have had some movement beforehand, like not released like a day before the peak for most coins. I have to have seen some movement in the market beforehand, and Bitcoin Cash has done that. The second thing I look for is that in this bull run, I want to see a coin that has not had an all-time high this cycle. So this point right here is a great movement. It's moved with the rest of the market. So everyone who calls this coin dead is wrong, because it's moved exactly like the rest of the coins. There's plenty of coins that look exactly like this. For example, XRP, a coin that many people, I think the general consensus with XRP is that it's not dead. But if you look at how XRP has moved in terms of all-time high down to the bottom of this red zone here, peaked over to the red zone and back into the red zone, I think you can see the similarities here between XRP and Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin Cash has just done what every other coin has done, and it meets that criteria where it hasn't hit a new all-time high in this cycle. The majority of coins haven't hit a new all-time high in this cycle, but examples of ones that have are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano. So Bitcoin Cash doesn't fail in that area. And the final rule that I have is that it has to exist currently when I'm looking to purchase in the 0.236 area. That is anywhere in this red zone right here. And as you can see, we are right now way down in here. The lower down in the 0.236 zone, the better the price. And ultimately, when we look at the upper end of the 0.236, which comes in at $980, that for me is the limit as to when I would be purchasing a coin. So from today's price at $341, we've got another 190% to go up before I start saying, I'm not going to be buying this coin anymore. So to reiterate how good of a deal this is, from today's price all the way up to $980, I still believe Bitcoin Cash is a good deal. You can agree with that and you can disagree with that. I don't really care. That's just my rules. That's how I play. Another one of my rules is that when I look for price targets in a coin, I look for the 3.2 extension line. The 3.2 line won't be there naturally when you put your extension, so you might have to add this yourself if you want to. In order to add it, you right click one of the lines on the Fibonacci's, click settings, click style, check a box that is unchecked, and just type in 3.2. Make sure it's in the color that you're going to see as well. In this case, with a white background, I've got it in black so I can see it. The 3.2 for me is a backdated number that I've checked across so many different coins just to see where the ultimate, most conservative yet most effective place to take your money out of the market or out of a coin is, especially if you're looking solely at altcoins. That 3.2 line for Bitcoin Cash comes in at $12,321.56. From today's price, get ready, from today's price, that is a 35.5x on your money just to get to the 3.2. Now, everyone who loves Bitcoin Cash is going to be frothing at the mouth about that one, but I want to say just take the 3.2 lines or any of these price predictions that sound a bit too good to be true, take them with a pinch of salt. I'm not saying they won't get there because movements in the past can bring these prices up like that. The reason I say take it with a pinch of salt is because ultimately we're looking at something else in the market to decide, especially on this channel, you can do whatever you want, but on this channel I explain my reasonings as to why Bitcoin is actually the only chart that I'm looking at when it comes to looking at my altcoins or how I move in my altcoins. I'm actually 0% in Ethereum or Bitcoin or Cardano simply because I've seen them hit the upper end of the Fibonacci's already this cycle. So for me, they've already hit their peaks and we're now in the process of the movements that are the bear market. The beginning of the bear market is very, very exciting. And that's why I've got these predictions for these four coins like Bitcoin Cash or Dash, Dogecoin, all of these ones that are way up here on the 3.2s, because a lot of people get confused me saying we're in a bear market. And then I'm also saying that the 3.2 levels way up here with 35 X's on coins is still on the cards, and it's because of something very specific about Bitcoin that I go into in great detail on all of my other videos. But essentially, this last push that Bitcoin has to take us up to the retracement levels around 58,000, 56,500, when Bitcoin reaches those prices again, the altcoins drastically outperform historically Bitcoin in that time. And so when I'm saying drastically outperform, I'm meaning, if Bitcoin goes up 44%, it's a possibility that Bitcoin Cash and other coins go up, 10s, 20, 30x. It's that much of an outperformance. So that's just to clear that up. If you want to know a lot more about this retracement push up and the alt season we're expecting to have and my thoughts on all of that, you can check out my channel. Plenty of videos over there for you to go and look at. So ultimately, do I think it's a good time to be buying Bitcoin Cash? You know, not financial advice. Yes, it meets all of my rules. It's in the 0.236 and it's got huge upside. I wouldn't allocate all of my capital into this coin, even with the potential that it's got, but understand that less money can go a lot further in Bitcoin Cash than many other coins. Bitcoin Cash could very well be heading for something absolutely wild, and if you want continuous updates and my thoughts on Bitcoin Cash and many other coins that you might hold, it might be valuable to click subscribe on my channel. I've got this whole plan for me and my audience to be retiring in 2025 or whenever that next bull run is. I'm not sure about 2025 anymore because things are taking a bit longer. But if you want to use this magnifying glass here, type in any coin that you want, whether that's Ethereum or whatever. You can see every price prediction I've done that has mentioned Ethereum and Ethereum Classic in this case. And that's just a nice way to browse my channel. Let's get to 5K subscribers in the next week, shall we? And thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.